Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while. Things here have been a little bit crazy, so we're gonna go through a video for you today for all those athletes that are coming back to the track and field world, all those athletes that are getting started back up again, to help you guys out at the start of your season. But listen, check it out. Before we get started, if this is your first time checking out the channel, or if maybe you're returning after a little bit of a break, make sure to click that subscribe button down below. That way you get updates for all of our new videos. And make sure to also click that like button and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see in future videos. We've been doing these videos now for about 11 years. I mean, really since the beginning of kind of the whole YouTube thing took off. So 11 years ago, we started doing these videos, and we did them every single week for the better part of 11 years, sometimes 2 videos a week. So I want to know, what do you want to see? What do you want to learn more about? Leave your comments down below, and then I'll do a video on it in a couple of weeks. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 things. This is really sort of the 5 things that over the course of the couple of years, working with athletes here in the gym, working with athletes that have new coaches, or working with athletes that are returning after a long time off, especially with COVID and everything else that happened, and also working with a lot of my college athletes that were with me throughout high school that have now started college, kind of putting together a list of things that you need to do, or a list of things that you need to keep in mind as you get started with your season. The other thing real quick, as you may have seen at the beginning of this video, is that our overnight track and field throwing camps are coming back this summer. So summer of 2022, the camps will be back. We have 75 athletes per camp, and this year we are doing 2 overnight summer camps. The links to those camps will be down below, but also make sure, guys, to subscribe and tune into the channel, because as soon as those camps, as soon as everything becomes available, as soon as all the information is out, this will be the first place where we will let you know. Okay, so the first thing that throwers need to keep in mind is that you need to trust your coach. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Coach Matt, aren't you the guy that put out rant videos years ago talking about coaches and dumb ideas that coaches have, you know, things that coaches make kids do that really make you angry and don't make any sense? Yeah, that was me, but at the same time, you need to trust your coach. Your coach might do some things that might be a little bit wacky or don't make any sense to you, but you need to trust your coach. Now, what am I talking about? So a lot of times this happens where I hear from athletes, I hear from throwers, they're sending emails, they're DMing me, they're leaving comments under these YouTube videos, and all of a sudden they say things like, Coach Matt, my throws coach is doing this, or my throws coach is doing that. And a lot of times I go, you know what, that might be different than what you're used to, but it's not wrong. So we have sometimes, for a good example, if somebody would say, hey, Coach Matt, our old coach used to have us do back squats, and our new coach has us do front squats, and I don't like it. Well, you might not like it. It might be something that you have to get used to, but trust your coach, because there's nothing wrong with front squats. Yeah, it's a different movement than a back squat. Maybe it's something you have to get used to. Maybe it's something you have to kind of learn how to do in the weight room. That doesn't mean you should just automatically say that your coach isn't a good coach. You know, there's a lot of coaches out there that have different ways of doing it. And in previous videos, I've talked about this being like a chocolate chip cookie recipe. Everyone has their own special ingredients. Everyone has their own recipe. But when it comes right down to it, a chocolate chip cookie is a chocolate chip cookie, okay? So don't get too mixed up with, oh, well, my coach has us lift twice a week and our old coach had us lift 3 times a week. My coach has us do a lot of dumbbell work when our old coach had us do barbell work. If you're starting up in a new school, or if you have a new coach, or if you're just coming back after a long layoff, maybe the coach that you have has been with you for years. Maybe you're a senior and this coach has been with you since your freshman year. Maybe the coach just has learned some new stuff. Maybe the coach has some new things that he's working on. Maybe he's found better ways of doing it. Maybe he's had to adjust because your team got bigger or your team got smaller, or he's not able to get in the weight room as much. You don't really know what's going on. So what you need to do as an athlete, first and foremost, is trust your coach. Now listen, if your coach is telling you to do some really wacky stuff like run 2 miles for a warm-up, or he's only letting you take 5 throws a day, or your coach doesn't let you go in the weight room and work out during the season, maybe there are some red flags, maybe there are some things to kind of keep an eye out for, but for the most part, your coaches want you to do well. Your coaches want you to succeed. They want to win championships. They want to see you doing the best that you can do. They have your best intentions in mind. So unless they're doing that crazy weird stuff, unless they're making you lift 5 days a week, they're only letting you take 5 throws a day, or you want to throw discus and they're not letting you, weird stuff like that kind of pops up and you go, that's strange. Trust your coach. Your coaches want what's best for you. All right, so I might butcher this quote, and I might not know who said it. I think it was Al Order that said it originally, or that really made it famous when working with throwers and coaches, is he said, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. Now, what did he mean by that? Really what he's saying there is that this is a slow and steady process. You guys need to make sure that you are taking your time, and you have to set your expectations. If you are a thrower and say you're throwing 40 feet, okay? Now maybe you were throwing 38 feet and you had a big PR, maybe it was a foot, you're throwing 39 feet. You can't expect a 1 foot PR every time you get in the circle, every time you go to a meet. Success is not linear. There's gonna be ups and there's gonna be downs, but if you stick with this, you have to realize it is a process of ups and downs, give and take, but over a long period of time, you will see a huge success. Inch by inch is a cinch. Look for that small tidbits, those small little crumbs of success, and you guys are going to do well. But don't expect that every single time you get to a meet, you're going to have a monster PR. You guys have to realize PRs come 1 inch at a time, and if you are consistent and work at this, you are going to see success. Inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. Number 3, don't stop lifting. I might know a little something about lifting weights. Guys, as a gym owner and somebody who has been training for the better part of 30 years, I need to tell you, don't stop lifting. Don't stop working out during the season. This is something that a lot of athletes do, is they take the off season. They work really hard during the summer. They work really hard during the fall and the beginning part of the winter. And then all of a sudden they stop lifting. It doesn't make any sense. You want to get stronger. You want to get more explosive. You want to get faster toward the end of the season. You guys need to continue your training. You need to continue lifting during your season. When the season starts, that doesn't mean that you stop going in the weight room. Even if it's only 1 or 2 days a week, even if you can only sneak in there for like 30, 45 minutes at a time, you need to get in there and you need to keep up your strength and continue training in the weight room. I know it gets busy. I know you want to be outside throwing every single day. I know sometimes you don't have a lot of time to get in there, but you need to make an effort and you need to keep your strength up and you need to get in the weight room during your season. Number 4 might be a little bit of a tough pill for some of you to swallow, and that is that you're not going to throw as far at the beginning of this season as you did at the end of last season. So here in Rhode Island, let's just take this for example. We have indoor track, which starts up typically the Monday after Thanksgiving, and it ends right around the middle of February, like the late teens. Usually it's like the 18th is our state championship, the 19th. And then we start up again for spring track, outdoor track, the 3rd Monday in March, and that goes to our varsity state championship, which is typically the 1st Saturday of June. So if you had a massive PR at your state championship, say it was the 1st Saturday in June, you have a massive PR at your state championship, say you throw 50 feet. Okay, you hit a big PR, you throw 50 feet, and then you've got the summer where you might not have done any meets. You've got the fall, maybe you were playing another sport, like you were doing football, or you were doing volleyball, or whatever it might be. And now it's the start of indoor track. It's the start of winter track. Well, hey, the last weekend, or the last meet in June for outdoor season, you threw 50 feet. So your first meet during indoor season, you should hit a PR and throw 50 feet. I mean, you've been lifting all summer, you lifted all fall, you're in great shape, you just got done playing football or volleyball or soccer or whatever you did during the fall, your first meet should be a PR, right? I mean, it's been 6 months, you should be throwing a PR, and then all of a sudden you throw 47 feet and you go, what happened? What did I do wrong? Why did I only throw 47 where at the end of last season I was throwing 50? Is there something wrong? Is it me? Is it my lifting? Is it my coach? What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened is you are comparing yourself at the beginning of the season to how you did at the end of your last season. That's not what you want to do, okay? What you want to do is compare where you are right now to where you were last year at this same time. So maybe you do open up and you throw 47 feet in your first meet and you go, wow, this is 3 foot off my PR. Think of where you were last year. Last year you were practicing every single day. Last year you were competing 1 or 2 times a week. Last year you were in a good competitive shape. You were used to it. You were in the routine of practicing every day. You were in the routine of going to these track meets and competing against other kids. You haven't done that in 6 months. Instead, look back to what you threw the beginning of last season. So maybe the beginning of last season, you threw 45, and now you just threw your first meet 47. So you've actually had a 2-foot increase since the same time 1 year ago. You should expect to see another couple of feet added to your PR at the end of the season. So the end of the last season, you threw 50. Maybe this year your goal should be 52 or 53, and to increase the same amount throughout the year. Fifth and final thing that you need to keep in mind as we get started with track season is that you need to be prepared. We are living in a crazy, crazy kind of world right now. We are going into our 3rd season of competing with COVID, and you need to be prepared. You need to be ready for anything that might pop up, especially with this disease that's going around, okay? I can't tell you, just right now we're about 1/3 of our way through our indoor track season here in Rhode Island, here in the New England, the cold weather states. We're about 1/3 of the way through the season. Already we've had track meets that have been canceled. We've had teams that have had to quarantine. We've had kids that have had to quarantine because either they had COVID or somebody in their immediate family had COVID. You have to skip meets. Meets are getting moved around. Meets are getting canceled. Things are going to pop up, so you need to be prepared. Again, you can't go out there expecting that you are going to throw a PR every single meet. You can't go out there expecting to be at your best every single meet, but you do need to be ready. Here's a good example. This weekend, we are supposed to have a big track meet, and this track meet is usually a big varsity track meet, and it is a state qualifier, meaning that what you throw at this meet is going to have the potential of qualifying you for our varsity state championship that happens in about 5 weeks. Now, the meet got canceled. Well, I shouldn't say it got canceled, but they basically turned it from a varsity meet into a JV meet, meaning that the schools are not going to be sending their top talent. They're going to give this meet as an opportunity for their mid-level talent, their junior varsity people, to go and have a chance to compete and do well. And that's awesome. But what it does is it takes a qualifying meet away from the top varsity athletes. Now these guys are going to have another couple of meets. They're going to have our division championship, our class championship, and we have a last chance qualifying meet that happens before our state championship. So they're still going to have a chance, but what it did is it took away one of those meets. Now, let's say, okay, well, you still got the potential. You still got, divisions and class and the last chance meet. Well, say now your coach has COVID and you can't go to your division meet. There goes another qualifier. Say you get COVID. Say a family member gets COVID. Say you get injured. Say something else pops up where, hey, now you're not able to actually compete for a week or two. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. You have to be on the top of your game and able to go. You should be trying to throw very far and qualify at every single meet. Throw a PR at every single meet. You can't just brush off a meet and go, whatever. Maybe you're the top in your division by 5 feet. Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm gonna win this meet anyway, so I'll take it easy today. Even if I don't throw my best, I'm still gonna win. You can't look at it that way. You guys have to be ready to go. You have to be ready to compete because you never know what's going to pop up. Okay, you have to prepare for the unexpected. Expect the unexpected and get ready to compete. Even when the you-know-what hits the fan, you have to be ready to go and you have to be prepared. All right, that's going to do it from here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Coaches, don't feel left out. I got a video coming for you. Top 5 things coaches need to know as they get going with their season. Make sure if you haven't done so already, subscribe down below, click that like button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to learn more about, and we'll do a video on it. Guys, thank you so much again. Thanks for tuning in. We are back, and there are a ton of videos in the can that are going to be posted up here to YouTube to make sure that you guys are having the best season that you can. Make sure we are giving you all the most information, the best information that we can. So make sure, subscribe, and also check the links down below because the track camps, overnight summer camps, Allegheny College, Pennsylvania, they're coming back again this summer. We are super excited. We have some great coaches lined up for you. I cannot wait to announce the coaching lineup because it is unreal. Guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.